On the aircraft carrier, the pilot picked up a football, placed it on the fighter jet's catapult. He then quickly signaled the operator to reset the catapult. The operator pressed the switch. The catapult accelerated to 340 km/h. In an instant, the immense force sent the football hurtling into the sky. Immediately after, a fighter jet rolled onto the runway. Under the ground cruise direction, the jet launched from the runway, flew toward the ceasefire zone to conduct aerial reconnaissance. At that time, the Bosnian war had just reached a ceasefire agreement. The jet only needed to follow the predetermined flight path to complete its mission. However, not long after takeoff, the radar suddenly showed an anomaly in the ceasefire zone. Per the ceasefire agreement, the jet was prohibited from entering the zone, but the pilot disregarded the navigator's warning, turned around and flew over to investigate. The pilot then turned on the digital camera and indeed spotted a group of armed men hiding in the forest with numerous weapons. The fighter jet's low-altitude reconnaissance angered the armed men below, who immediately reported the situation to their superiors. Upon learning that the jet had been conducting unauthorized reconnaissance in the ceasefire zone, the superiors immediately ordered their men to fire missiles to intercept the jet. At the same time, the jet detected incoming missiles. The pilot quickly maneuvered the jet to climb vertically, then flew rapidly right, but still couldn't shake the missile lock. As the jet was about to be hit, it released decoys, but they failed to detonate the missiles. The jet had to keep changing direction. At that moment, the armed men below fired another missile. Faced with two missiles in hot pursuit, the jet had to climb vertically at a 90-degree angle. The pilot then jettisoned the auxiliary fuel tanks, using the explosion's shockwave to successfully detonate one missile. But the next second, another missile suddenly flew straight at the jet from the front. The jet had no time to evade. The missile grazed the jet's tail, causing it to lose control instantly. The jet was eventually cut in half by the returning missile. The pilot activated the ejection seat, ejected before the jet exploded, successfully opening his parachute midair. After jettisoning the ejection seat, the two men landed in the armed men's occupied area. The navigator landed safely, immediately found the injured pilot. However, in a valley with no signal, the navigator had to go to higher ground to use the radio to call for help. Meanwhile, the armed men discovered the jet wreckage. Their superiors immediately ordered them to search for the pilot. Soon the armed men captured the injured pilot near the wreckage. After a brief interrogation, they shot and killed him on the spot. The navigator, who saw this from the hilltop, screamed loudly, revealing her position. A life or death escape ensued.